special and she reckless. Baby, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie. My love for you is endless. Nobody else can end it. And when I get the money back, then baby girl, you can spend it. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and big family. I'm the storm in your dream, making wet dreams come true. She know she bad, better than bad. She a gunshot that blew my mind. No distance, I come by my side. Everything is green over here. Everything you want and think about. No, I got your back all the way. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and big family. Me and you, we can be something we want to. When I see the dream we're chasing true, we don't care for me, yeah, yeah. Luckily we're free to be first class, wedding casually, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and big family. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and big family. Anything that you do now, everything that you do, everything that you do now. Oh, no, 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 no.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? It's your boy Tristan Barracks here, the digital storyteller. I'm super excited to be with you once again for another episode of a Livestream Monday. Not Syndicate, not nothing else, just Livestream Monday. And I got a lot to talk about today. I'm actually really excited. Hey, Cody, I see you out there. What's up in the Pacific Coast? You're in Seattle, I think. I think you're in Seattle. I don't know. Tell me. Let me know in the chat. But we already have a comment from Cody. Let me just bring it down here so you can see a little bit better of my face. That's wonderful. He says, heck yes, great subject, man. We were luckily haven't had any shutter issues yet, but I've seen and heard a lot. Yeah, so I mean, again, here's the thing. This subject is a dicey one. I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions. They're going to have a lot of comments about the whole Sony shutter fiasco. Some people say it's a fiasco. I just say it's technology, but I'll get more into it a little bit later. I want to welcome you in. If this is your first time watching Livestream Mondays, my name is Tristan Barracks. I'm the digital storyteller. That's what most people call me. And I love building community, but specifically the digital storytelling community. And I kind of create this time this opportunity, I should say, every Monday evening where I can answer your questions live on air. I can speak to any sort of questions you may have about the content I'm creating, or just questions about like how to be better at business, how to be better at getting the clients that you want to get, how to tell stories better, how to direct better, how to edit better, how to use gear better. I'm here as a resource for you, but I'm also here to have a conversation. And one of the things that I've been noticing, because we're going to jump right into it, I've been noticing throughout the last probably 3 or 4 weeks that many people have been starting to comment again on a video that came out about a year ago, that I released a year ago. And that was when, I don't know which camera it was, because I have three A7Ss or A73s, sorry. But one of my A73s, it died on me. Essentially what happened is the shutter malfunctioned, and I was in the middle of a shoot. I was in the middle of a free shoot, which was luckily close by my house, literally walking distance from my house. But it was this sort of clicking noise, and then basically the camera shut down, and I wasn't able to actually take any photos of any of these mothers. Essentially what the project was I was doing a Mother's Day shoot free for the mothers within my community. And as I was taking photos of it, my boy O'Shane was actually doing some BTS, and I took like 1 or 2 shots, and it just went and it totally snapped out. So I did a video about that, right? About this camera dying, right? My A7 Mark III dying. And, you know, people responded to it. They're like, oh man, sorry, da da da. And there was quite a few views of people just kind of watching it to see what I did. And luckily, I'll tell you my process. Once the camera died, I put the serial number into sort of Sony's website or whatever else, or I called Sony. And the Sony rep was really nice. They said that it was only 8 months old, I believe, at the time. And they were like, it's still within warranty, but we'd have to send it in during a pandemic. And they couldn't guarantee that it would get back, you know, within less than 2 months. So what literally happened was it took about 2.5 months for them to get the camera, repair it. They had to wait for a part, and then they sent it back to me. It was all free of charge. Was it free of charge? No, I think I had to pay for shipping, to be honest with you, shipping there. So that was kind of challenging to say the least, that the shipping, you know, it cost me money in order to basically get this fixed. And this was something that was less than 8 months old. Now, in that initial video, or in that original video, one of the things that I said in that video was that, you know what, I had this camera, or these cameras, for well over a year. At least at the time, I thought I had all of them over a year, but one of them was fairly new. And I said, honestly, they've made back their money and more. You know what I mean? I've traveled all around North America with them. I've shot several different weddings with them, commercial shoots, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So in my mind, I felt like, regardless of whether or not I spent $2,000 on these camera bodies, and one of them died on me, I really felt like, you know what, they still made their money back, right? And again, that's all subjective, right? But I think the major point and the main thing that I want to hit home was, you know, when you are investing in, you know, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $8,000, $6,000 camera, yes, you want it to be reliable, but you also understand that stuff happens, right? Like, things happen, you know, equipment breaks down, and there's a lot of different reasons for equipment breaking down. And you should always be in a position where, number one, you have a backup solution, a backup camera. You should always have a backup camera, especially if you're shooting things like live events, weddings, but even commercial jobs. You should always be renting more than one camera body if you don't own a camera body. That's just makes a whole bunch of sense for multiple different reasons. If the camera breaks down, if you need to be quicker and you don't have time to switch lenses, if you want to have a certain look on one focal length and then a certain look on the next focal length, all of these things are different reasons why you want to do that. But getting back to the original point of the matter, which was this idea that something inherently is wrong with the camera, and therefore, you know, that usurps any of our responsibility to be able to have things like business insurance, and have things that will actually protect our businesses and protect our investment, right? And again, I'm not a big stickler for warranties, but what I will say is that, or extended warranties, I should say. What I will say though is that I do invest in business insurance, and business insurance is probably one of the best investments that I haven't really had to use that much, knock on wood, because it gives you that added sense of security where if anything goes wrong, if your camera breaks down, if it gets stolen, anything like that, it can be replaced, and it will be replaced through your insurance provider. But that brings up the next point that a lot of people are saying. They're saying, well, it's not just a one-off, Tristan. People are saying, well, no, like if I have a camera and I spend $2,000 on a camera and it's supposed to be Sony, and Sony's one of the top 3 or 4 camera manufacturers in the world, right? In the top 3 really in the world, I should be able to expect a certain level of reliability. And unfortunately, if you do your research, quite a few of these A73s have had issues. They've had issues where the camera itself breaks down, right? So the shutter, essentially what happens is that the shutter gets to a certain point, and then basically not the electronic shutter, but the physical shutter actually closes down on itself. Excuse me. And when it closes down on itself, it creates this like crunching sound, and essentially it folds and it locks the camera down. Now, in some cases, you can fix that. So for instance, for my camera in particular, when it did lock up, I turned it off and I kind of left it alone. And I picked up another camera body and continued my shoot. But later on, I actually kind of flipped it and kind of snuck the piece of the shutter curtain that was bulging out. I snuck it under, and it actually was able to close and lock again and work relatively well. But it was still, you could still see that it was a little crumpled, a little broken, which means that it could have, scratched the sensor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I want to get it fixed. My question to you guys is that, number one, does this taint the Sony brand for you? Because apparently Sony, has never really publicly acknowledged that they have an issue with their shutter, with their physical shutter for the A7 Mark IIIs. But if you are in and amongst people that own A73s or in A73 groups, many people have said that this has happened to them. Many people are upset about this, and there's actually a class action lawsuit around holding Sony accountable. Now, for me personally, I don't really know what that's going to do specifically, other than maybe, if anything, people will get, newer shutters or whatever, shutter curtains, but I'm not really sure. So I'd love to know your thoughts in terms of what you guys think. Tony here, what do you got to say, Tony? Hey, Tristan, I had 2 A73s that I got during initial release in April 2018. Neither of my cameras malfunctioned in any way. Yeah. I mean, again, like I can't deny it. Like I'm not gonna lie and tell you that. Let me just make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see this. I'll put it over here so it's easier to read. I agree with you, Tony. Like, honestly, I have 3 A73s. I have one from 2018, another one that I purchased in 2019, or another 2 I purchased in 2019, and only one shut off on me. Like, one had this issue, and they fixed it really quickly, and we were good to go. So I don't know. For me, I feel like it's a little overblown, but for other people, they're like, you know what? No, this is a $2,000 camera. Sony should replace this, or they should fix it, et cetera, et cetera. And I agree with you. If you're within warranty, I think Sony should replace it. But at the same time, do you guys think, for those of you that are watching, do you guys think that this is an actual issue? Do you guys think that Sony should be doing more? Should users be suing Sony? Should there be a class action lawsuit? What else is Tony saying here? I ended up upgrading to 2 A9s in 2020. The shutter count on my main A7 III camera was 172,000. I traded it in. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, right now, I don't even know if you guys know how to check shutter count. Please let me know, because I really don't know where to check shutter count on the Sonys. I knew how to do that on the Canon when I was using Canons, but if anybody can actually let me know about that. Also, let me know your questions. Like, do you guys think that this is an issue? Do you guys think that, and for those of you that don't know what the actual shutter issue is, I'll show you here. I'm going to actually show you, I'm going to show you a picture here so then you guys know as well. Sony shutter issue, because I think that many people have kind of run away from this particular camera because they just think that, you know, I can't trust it. And it's honestly not that scary in my opinion. Let me go to picture in picture here. Here we go. All right, cool. So this is basically what the shutter, the broken shutter looks like. So it looks like these sort of things here. I'm going to try and make this screen a little bit bigger. So this is what the broken shutter looks like. Okay. These are all different examples of the broken shutter. It locks up. It looks like sort of this, it has this sort of half open, half closed shutter kind of thing. It also looks cracked. It can be cracked. There's a lot of different ways that the shutter can lock. Now, this is more of like what happened to me, where one part kind of flipped out. The part that was supposed to be flipped under flipped out on me, and then I wasn't able to, I wasn't able to use the camera, so I had to unflick it out. This is another example here, which is actually quite bad. If I saw it this way, then I mean, your camera's pretty much toast when your shutter looks like that. This is another example. So again, you can see, as you can see, like there's just a lot of like these sort of issues where people are having the A73s, and this has happened for the last 2 or 3 years, where the shutter cuts out on them. Now, my question again to you guys is that do you guys think that this is an actual issue, a legitimate issue worth suing Sony about? Do you guys actually think that Sony should deserves a class action suit? Is this something that you have encountered? I have encountered it, and to be honest with you, I got a fine solution, which was I sent my camera body in. It took a couple months. I got it back. It was good as new. It's been fine. I can't even point it out to you which camera is the one with the shutter issue at all, because again, it was one of those things where I honestly didn't know which shutter or which camera it is, because I use all my cameras kind of equally. But what I would say is that if you do have a strong opinion, you do think that there should be a class action suit for Sony, why? Like what's your sort of rationale behind that? Is there any particular reason? Do you think that Sony knowingly was selling these cameras with this issue? I don't know if it was they knew, or if it was more of a bad batch. Because again, if it was just the design in general, all of the cameras would pretty much have the same sort of issue. But if you notice that like not everybody has the same issue, especially if you bought some of the original ones, the original batch, it seems like those original batches are solid, is good to go. So that being said, anyways, that's what was interesting to me was that once this sort of article came out about, this is the lawsuit that's going against Sony, all of a sudden my video views for that particular video went up. And I was like, why is it going up? I'm like, I was trying to think about it, saw all these articles, and then now people are commenting about, wow, well, you really don't need to, you really don't have anything to say about this because, you have multiple bodies. But what about the people that only have one camera body? And I personally just think that, again, if you're going to purchase and make any investments in these Sony cameras, I really do believe that it's really important for you to count up the cost. Because again, if you're making an investment anywhere of upwards of $1,000 or more in any camera, you should be making money off of that camera. Whether it's YouTubing, whether it's client work, photography, weddings, whatever it is, you should be making money off of a $1,000 camera, $1,500 camera, $2,000 camera, $3,000 camera, etc. If you're not, then I really have to wonder, like, why are you investing so much into a recreational type of camera? And I'm not blaming it on the user, but that's just something that I would ask, because things like this are expensive to repair. Anyways, those are just my thoughts about the actual Shutter debacle. I would love to know your questions and your thoughts on that. Do you guys have any questions about storytelling? You guys want to jump on and ask me some questions? I'll make the guest link available in the chat so you guys can jump in and chat with me right now if you'd like. If you don't mind being live on air, jump on a chat with me live on air. Yep. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your questions. And other than that, I would like to also share with you a few other things that are coming up that are actually really, really exciting. I just started and soft launched a new channel called the Black Movie Fan channel. So a whole bunch of my friends who happen to be black, kind of we are movie nerds, and we love talking about movies, love talking about television shows. And we have a new channel. We have a channel called the Black Movie Fandom. So we basically do movie reviews on YouTube. So you can definitely check us out. I will show you the channel here. And again, we have on different guests, and we have different opportunities for people to come on and share their own perspectives when it comes to movies, when it comes to things like, we're going to review Black Widow. We just did King Kong. We did a Suicide Squad review, trailer of the review, or review of the trailer. We also did Falcon and Winter Soldier. So there are quite a few things that we're doing now. I'll just jump over here so you guys can see a little bit easier. That if you look down here, I'm just going to remove this bar for a minute. These are some of the reviews that we have here. And if you want to check out the actual channel, it's called the Black Movie Fan channel. Now we're going to change the logo and everything else, but it's really, really cool. We just started literally like probably I would say about 3 weeks ago. We did the Justice League Snyder Cut. So a couple other things that are happening there. So definitely, if you're interested, you're more than welcome to join the fandom and have some fun. We can have some conversations around that. Back to the Sony shutter. Do you guys have any questions about that? Do you guys have any comments? Do you think that Sony should be sued? Do you think that Sony did nothing wrong? Have you had any issues with your A7 Mark IIIs? Any shutter issues? Do you have any issues with any other Sony cameras or product? I personally haven't had any issues with my Sony cams other than one of my Sony A7 Mark IIIs. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Now, the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about was this idea of, here in Ontario and Toronto, we're on lockdown again. We're in our third lockdown, which is kind of frustrating. And, it got me thinking about a lot of different creatives and where they are right now, and how we haven't been able to kind of have a consistency of maybe income or opportunities to kind of create dope work and work with different clients. So I actually created a video that's going to be on my YouTube channel for free, and it's actually 7 ways that you can make money today. And I made it specifically for the creative in mind, because I think that a lot of us are kind of in a predicament where it's like, okay, cool. Like if we can't shoot a wedding, or if we can't, meet up with a client and film something with a client, then how do we make work? How do we generate income? And that video is going to talk about all those things, but I want to touch on a few of them right away that you may not know about or you may be interested in. So if you're a creative, just listen up. I'm going to tell you about 3 or 4 ways to make money right now that might help you right away, just kind of bring some income that you may need, much needed income. Number 1, I think, is utilize and leverage digital PDFs. So what do I mean by digital PDFs? So most of us that create work, that tell stories, that film, or that know about camera gear and camera knowledge and know how to get clients or whatever else, we have a skill facet and a knowledge base that many other people want. We know how to create content. We know how to streamline our content, edit, film, color correct, all that sort of stuff. So why not make a few different documents that streamline the process on very simple things that you may find simple, but another person needs. So for instance, how to, the basics of editing in Final Cut or Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve. You can make a 15 or a 10 page or a 20 page PDF sell it for $15 or $20, and you'll be surprised how many people will actually purchase that from you, because of the fact that, again, it's something that allows them to streamline their knowledge and their skill facet in order to be able to be better at a skill. And that's something that you can create once, but then continually get and make more money off of. So that's number one, a digital PDF. Number two, the other way that you can make money today and generate income today is by creating video tutorials. So there is a website called Selfly or Selfie, and basically that website and many others. Oh, let me see this here. Sorry, somebody just asked a question here. No offense, but can I ask you about what you do? Because I like this girl. Oh, Lord have mercy. Jeez Louise. Honestly, I can't answer that right now. But thank you for that for that. I appreciate that. Um, yeah. So, anyways, like I was saying before, when you're dealing with like a tutorial, a digital tutorial, you can use websites like Selfly or other websites that allow you to just make one video, and then what you can do is you can actually sell that video on the website, and then that will be something that you create. So for instance, it could be a video tutorial about just how to color correct in Final Cut. It could be a tutorial about your camera settings for, your Sony cameras. And then from there, what you can do is you can make that video 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes long, depending on how long you want it to be. And you can sell that again for $20 or $15 or $30 or whatever else. And that can be another digital product that you can make money off of today. If you already have a little bit of an audience, or even a larger audience on YouTube, then you can actually share some of that knowledge in a more strategic and more focused light by creating even like a 5-video course, something super, super easy to do. You could be like, hey, here's how to level up your cinematography, or here's how you negotiate your pricing, or here's a tutorial on how to start a business from beginning to end, how to register your business, all those sort of things. So these are some easy ways of just making money today, especially if you're creative and you're losing out on income right now. The last way that I would say that you can make money today is by creating Zoom tutorials. So what Zoom tutorials are, they're like live workshops, but instead of having to, go in physically and produce and show that live keynote presentation, you can just do it virtually, which we've been doing for a while. But oftentimes we wait for opportunities from external sources to be able to fund us or pay us to be able to do a workshop, whereas we can create a workshop ourselves and then just advertise it, register people, and then basically make that money there and that can be a steady a source of income as well. You can charge people, $25, $30 for a 1 hour sort of session. And, you get a couple of people, you get 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, that's a couple $100 for a session, right? And you don't have to change the session. You don't have to necessarily upgrade it. You could have multiple sessions per month or once a month or whatever else. And that's just another stream of income. The idea here is just to use and leverage the knowledge that you already have in order to kind of keep things moving while everything else is not moving. Everything else is closed down. Let's see what questions you guys have here. All right. So Shirley, let me just put this here. Shirley, how about making money by starting a YouTube channel and creating fantastic content? Yeah, definitely. You can definitely do that. So, here's what I would say. Like, you can definitely make money off of YouTube. What I would sort of stress is that you're not going to make a lot of money off of AdSense. Like, I'll be straight up with you, and I'm always very honest in terms of Google AdSense revenue. I make maybe like off of, I create, let's say 4 or 5, I do 4 live streams a month, and then I do another 4 to 5 videos a month. So that's about 9 to 10, let's say 9 or 10 videos a month. And that probably brings in about maybe $100, $150, $200 a month. So it's not a whole bunch of money coming from coming from YouTube. But what I would say is that if you are looking for a way to make some money, have a stream of income, definitely create content on YouTube, but then also make sure you're building up your own website, make sure you're building up your own resources so that people can go offline and get a deeper dive, right, into the resources that are available so that you can make a little bit more of that bread. Because again, Google's only paying you what they can afford to pay you, whereas you can set whatever price you want on the content that you're creating. And I think that's the better way of going. I hope that helps. But yeah, do you guys have any other questions about how to make money today, like right now? I know that the topic at hand, which I did talk a little bit about, was the Sony shutter failing. I really just wanted to kind of talk about my experience with it. If you do have questions about that, you can ask me that. If you have questions about how to make money in different ways, I have a boatload of different tips. So just let me know, ask away. I can tell you again that my issue with the Sony A73 was solved pretty quickly. The shutter did break on me. It broke down. I sent it into Sony. It took about a few months in last summer, and they fixed it. And now that it's out of warranty, if it cracks again or breaks down again, then it'll be on my own dime, which is it is what it is. But that's part of the reason why I encourage anybody that is purchasing cameras that are $2,000, $3,000, etc., to have a plan, have a strategic plan, and make sure that you invest in things like business insurance and things of that nature. So that's really, really important. Yes, that was great info. When is a good time to reach you? My colleague has been trying to get you. Oh, perfect. You know what? Honestly, it's been a little cray for me, but what I will say is that if we can maybe connect up tomorrow afternoon, and my information is on my website, but I believe that you may have emailed me. So if you did email me, please just type in the chat that you emailed me, and then I will reach back out using the same name that you have here via email. Yeah, any questions? Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Questions. Just want to answer some questions tonight. Any storytelling questions? Any gear questions? I actually just picked up some new headphones from Costco. If you guys are, I'm such a dad, but there are these, I don't know if you can see them. Let me take them out of the case here. There are these little earbuds, Bluetooth earbuds. They come in a pair, and the reason why I got them were because the reason why I got these earbuds were because I didn't want to always wear these headphones on all my Zoom interviews and things of that nature. So I wanted something that was kind of inconspicuous and something that worked and sounded pretty decent. These were okay. They're pretty good. They have a nice case. Plus they have this. They come with this this little pad as well. This little charging pad. So you just put the headphones in the case, and then they charge up on this charger, which is pretty cool. That was it was about $100 at Costco. And the thing that's really good about Costco again is if you don't like it, you just return it and you'll get back your money. So I'm testing them out. They're pretty good. I might do a review on them just because I like giving some reviews in terms of gear that actually works for me. But anyways, nevertheless, any questions about the topic of the day, Sony shutter breaking down, or any other gear questions, storytelling questions? If not, then I will say au revoir. Is it au revoir or adieu? I don't know. Anyways, you guys know what I'm saying. All right, and 3. Let me just wait one more second here. All right. Since there's no other questions coming through, I will say au revoir. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I hope that you guys are continue to stay inspired, stay creative, and stay blessed. Peace.